Hello, welcome to Podcast versus Play, episode 241. I'm one of your hosts, Cal, and as always, I'm joined by a man who's found a job helping a one-armed typist do capital letters. Only problem is it's shift work.
That's a solid little joke.
That's a great one.
That's a good little joke.
Danny Bloody Dan.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm not bad.
Good.
It's been a busy, very busy week today.
Busy.
This week. I've had quite a lot of painkillers today as well to take the edge off, and I'm also drinking red wine at the same time, Callum. So this could go very interesting. Get very interesting.
Not recommended.
This podcast sponsored by Stomach Ulcers.
Well, Dan, have I got some news for you?
Go on.
So everyone's aware, everyone in the NAN is aware of the Microsoft, Activision, Blizzard, all this nonsense.
Still going on this.
It's still going on. Some other countries have okayed it, but not enough to make it a surefire thing. However, in the midst of all this, have you seen that some news for Microsoft's competitors also came to light in these FTC meetings?
Do you want to try that again in English, please?
That was English.
Was it, though? I don't really understand what the hell you just said.
Microsoft's competitors had news leaked in the meetings. PlayStation, Nintendo, the likes of. So,
okay.
Basically, for the last few cases and meetings, Microsoft has billed itself as the underdog. So, Sony's
that multi-billion-dollar company.
Exactly.
Sure.
So even though Nintendo have said for a long time they don't see PlayStation and Microsoft as competitors because the Switch isn't competing with the PlayStation and the Xbox. It's just designed for. Well, it's not, because in terms of they're not going, this is the most powerful console in the world. They're going, this is one that you can play some fun and cool games on if you want to, kind of thing.
They just so happen to release it at about the same time that everyone else releases theirs, though.
No, well, they released theirs at the back end of the old gen cycle.
Yeah, probably so that they go, oh, we were just competing with the Xbox 360. And
no. From then,
3.
we're not competing. They've said that's been their stance for a long time. Now, in terms of direct marketing,
maybe publicly, but that'd be ridiculous if they go, no, we don't. We're not a part of this.
I mean,
of course you are.
Nintendo,
you're trying to get sales through the door as much as anyone else. Why the fuck would you bother otherwise?
They are, but I mean, I'll be honest. I see iOS and stuff as more of a direct competitor to the Switch. Have you seen the revenue for mobile games? I'm not saying mobile games are good, but the revenue is more than all of Microsoft and everyone else put together. Through the roof. To the point of, which we'll go into in this, Microsoft have spent the last X amount of years, excuse the pun, trying to figure out how to hone the mobile community.
xCloud's are probably a good way to do that.
Well, obviously that's where they've settled on, but that would have been, do we release a handheld console? Do we release an Xbox phone? But obviously they're the stuff they would have looked at because that's what they see as their direct competitor. But I would say it's the other way around. That's Switch's direct competitor because you take a Switch with you play it on the train or whatever. You can't do that with a PS5. So
yeah, you're more likely to be having a poo and be on your phone or be on than you are a Switch.
Yeah.
So yeah, that makes sense.
But in the midst of all that, Microsoft come out and they essentially leaked the release date for the PlayStation 6. One of the things they kicked off on was that Sony wouldn't send them a PS5 developer kit before the release of the PS5.
Why would they do that?
Exactly. But so the reasoning was that there was what was it for now? It was to do with a game that was exclusive, not exclusive, sorry, but Microsoft owned, that was being released. Oh, Minecraft. So they wanted a PS5 so they could optimize it properly. And sure. Jim Ryan from Sony was like, "We're not sending you a PS5 before we release it and before you release your new Xbox. That's stupid. Why would we do that?" And I agree. Why the fuck would they do that? But that was brought up. But in the midst of all that, somebody from Activision, who I forgot his name, somebody Kotick, leaked that the new Switch, which people have already either got their hands on or they know the specs for, people like Square Enix, EA, have all been in discussions with Nintendo for the new console, and it is as powerful as a PlayStation 4. Which doesn't sound too impressive, but when you think a handheld,
what you're going to be doing with it?
Exactly. That's real interesting. Far more interesting than all the shenanigans going on with Microsoft and Activision and stuff. But obviously, this was brought out in the case, and I thought that was a very interesting thing to talk about, Dan, because
to dick your competitors over with.
Well, yeah, because like a portable PS4, that's pretty fucking powerful.
I mean, it would be the equivalent of like a Vita 2 or 3, maybe.
In terms of step, like the Vita was as powerful as a PS3, but obviously it came out in the life cycle of the PS4, and then doing that again, it would follow the same grounds for it. But like a Steam Deck can't play. A Steam Deck's 720p, and you can play some games medium, but most of them are low. So in terms of like, obviously games would be optimized for it anyway because it's Nintendo, but theoretically it would be more powerful than a Steam Deck. Not as you haven't got as much options to play stuff. Obviously, you're going to be limited to Nintendo games, but a PS4 powered Zelda game, I'm all for that, Dan.
Yeah.
Look at what they've done with the lack of power with the Switch.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. It's not going to really affect me too much. Like, it'll be another case of whenever I see a good deal for it, I'll get it, sure. And I mean, I haven't regretted it. It was like 180 quid or something I paid for mine, with a controller and with.
There's a couple of games with it, weren't they?
No, there wasn't. I bought.
Oh no,
you
bought Metroid and Pokemon and stuff, didn't you?
No, I think I got Metroid and Animal Crossing. I think first because I thought of anything that's out, that's probably. And then like I got Pokemon Brilliant Diamond because that had only just come out, I think. And then I just went a bit fucking mad, to be fair, and bought a bunch of them. Yeah. So I mean, I don't really play it enough as it is. Like, again, my PC's my go-to, and I've just upgraded that, Callum. So, and I'm not taking a step back. Although I say that, a demo for Pikmin 4 dropped the other day, and I was like, people are banging on about
Pikmin's
this.
Real good,
downloaded it, and I was just like, eh.
Did you not like it?
I was just like, it's fine. It reminds me. Well, there's a game on PC which more than likely, if that's what all the Pikmins are like, it's probably just it's based quite heavily on that. There was a game on Game Pass that I downloaded. It was a free one called Tinykin, and it's quite good. It's just sort of like it's a puzzle. It's like you're a little kid. There's little bugs or whatever, little blobs that it's a giant room, and you've got to like platform and use them to help puzzle solve and that kind of stuff. So when I played it, it very much sort of felt like that. So I was like, okay, well then maybe this Tinykins is based on kind of Pikmin-y kind of thing, if that's what it's like.
Pikmin was like a GameCube launch title, so they've definitely ripped
that's
it
what
off.
I mean. Yeah. But I was just sort of like, it's fine. Like it's quite good. But I think I did finish the demo for it, and I wasn't like, oh, I've got to go and rush out and buy this. Like Kirby, like Dreamland, playing the demo for that, I was like, this is actually sick. Like I'd probably go and buy this if I was so inclined, which I have yet to be. But again, when the right offer comes along, sure, I'll snap that bad boy up. But I'm just in no rush for it. I mean, I've still got 4 Pokemons that I haven't completed yet. I've still got Zelda that I haven't completed, Mario that I haven't completed. Like, I would still most likely have some of those, if not all of those, left to complete by the time this second one comes out.
I mean, I don't know about that.
So if they want to charge 300 quid for that, I'll be like, sure.
I mean,
I'll see you in 6 years when I'm going to be ready to go for it.
There's no like general date of when it's going to be, but I would assume it'd either be maybe the end of this year, going into next year at the earliest. I can't see it being like next month or anything like that. I think this year's too early, if I'm honest. Especially as the Switch.
There've already been announcements, like because it'll be a Christmas release.
Exactly, yeah. But the Switch is still selling absolutely shitloads. So it's.
I mean, I got mine off eBay because one, it's difficult to get from like a general retail store, and two, they're still super fucking expensive comparatively. Considering they're about because the price reduction of like the PS5 and the Series X, it's not that dissimilar to get a PS5 or a Switch.
Well, I paid because when I got my Switch, it was like I paid like $350 for it, and
which is mad.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. I did get the not limited edition, but it's like the neon one, which was a
it was like the bright green and bright blue, was it?
Like almost pinky red and like a neon-y blue. Sure. But yeah, and then obviously with the PS5, I think that was like $450 or something like that, which I know is still £100, but for just £100 more, you can get a PS5. That kind of thing. And then I know the Switch isn't £350 anymore, but same with the Xbox. That was $450 as well, the Series X, and
I just spent £500, which is an absolute fucking bargain, by the way.
Yeah. Real good price.
Getting a new GPU, which is a single piece of a computer that you need in order to run it.
Well,
but that is going to be good for 10 years.
Yeah. I mean, theoretically, so would a console. Like, people still play Mega Drive and SNES still now, so...
I mean, I do on my Switch, but yeah.
No, but I mean, like, as long as you look after the equipment, it'll still work in 10 years' time.
Oh,
there'll be no support for it. Like, but I mean, to be fair, it'll be nice to turn my PS5 on and not have an update for my controller that I keep just going, tell me later, because I need to plug it in to do it, and I can't be asked to get up and put the cable in.
Just such a piece of shit.
It's annoying. Why can't I just update it wirelessly? Can on the Xbox?
Because that's not an option.
No, it should be an option. And if they turn around and say, I don't know, we'll give you Call of Duty as long as you make your controllers update wirelessly, then I'll be all for this thing going through.
Yeah.
But no, there was a lot of debates going on for this. I don't really care either way if Microsoft own Activision or not, because
it's more of a principled view of it, which is always been the same thing. Like, to have all of like the Call of Duty games and any other, like, there's a lot of we were talking about this yesterday, but there's a lot of old school PC games that Activision either made or published. There's a lot of Star Trek games, which most of those showing up on GOG, which is great. But if they all popped up on Game Pass, obviously they wouldn't do. But if they were to, or like a bunch of like classic Activision's titles, then that would be great. I'd love to see that. I wouldn't usually go out and buy a Call of Duty game. Like, I played a lot of Warzone. I haven't played the new Warzone. But I bought Call of Duty World War II. That was it looks incredible as well, but it was a great little campaign that was. But if they said, here's all of Black Ops, here's all of Modern Warfare, like all the new Modern Warfares and all that, if they just said it's on Game Pass now, you better believe I'm going to download them all and play them all. But, like, even Advanced Warfare and the ones that I just sort of think, I don't really care about this, but I'll play it because the story, like, it's like playing a Michael Bay movie. It's just big set pieces, it's huge and explosions and whatever. And then when I'm done with it, I can just uninstall it.
Well, that's where there was what they were saying for, because whoever's in charge of Activision is against Game Pass, and he doesn't see the monetary value of it. But what came?
Of course they don't, because they're blinkered by. But you can't. Well, you're not making tons of money consistently.
It's not. I mean, in all fairness, it's not just this guy. I can't remember his name, but it's not just this person in Activision. A lot of developers and publishers feel the same. And even Microsoft have outright said, like, we don't make that much money off Game Pass. But obviously getting those active subscriber base, that player base more and more and more and more, you are going to make more money on it. But what came out in this this discussion was that Xbox have basically planned and gone, well, if we've got the Call of Duty on Game Pass, then we will sell more Game Pass subscriptions. We will sell more Xbox consoles, so we'll make the revenue up that way, which is the exact opposite of what Microsoft have been saying over the last couple of years, and we just want everyone to play everywhere on anything and everything else.
That, I mean, I'm more inclined to believe, rather than, we just want a monopoly that no one else can touch. Like, again, because we haven't had a Bethesda release yet, like, since they've owned Game Pass.
Since they bought,
but Deathloop came out on PlayStation anyway, didn't it?
It was it was
supposed
timed exclusive anyway, and the only Bethesda game that's released on a competitor console was Deathloop, and that was only because, as part of the buyout, they agreed they would honour the existing thing. But since that, nothing's been released. Starfield is exclusive to Microsoft platforms. Most likely they're going to do the same with the Elder Scrolls and stuff, from what's been said in this.
But this is the thing. That was never supposed to be the point. Yeah. They said that, we want to own this and we want to have those developers in our pocket so we could, help them. We obviously get some level of exclusivity, so, we want to draw people towards us. But it was still supposed to be like, it's going to be business as usual, but we just own the studio. But if if that's Xbox only, or Xbox and PC only, and then we get Elder Scrolls, and then there's a new Fallout, and then there's a new Wolfenstein, and all of them exclusive. It's like, oh, okay, you are monopolizing now. And whilst obviously, if you've got a PC, if you've got an Xbox, or if you know someone who's got Ultimate and you've got a phone and you can play those through xCloud, then it's in, to a degree, it's in your interest, but in the wider picture, it's not, because
you still got to do it.
Competition is good and it's needed. That's how they've gotten to the point where they've developed this. It's because they were shit in their pants because they couldn't keep up with their competitors. They didn't have the games of the Switch. They didn't have the hardware power of the PlayStation. They had to come up with something to beat them both. And this has done it to a degree.
We'll just buy everything.
Like in terms of put them back on the map of just being like, that's a great, like, it's like £8 a month and I get access to all of this as well as all your new releases. Like, that's an outstanding deal. And now you've got Sony and you've got Switch going, oh shit, well, we should probably do something like that. Switch is still very much, they're saying that they're not competitors, but they're still going, oh, here's a bunch of like old Game Boy games and stuff like that. Are you happy with that?
To be fair, they've been doing that for a long time.
They have been, but not really. I don't think it's been done to the same extent, shall we say. Like that sort of streaming, that Netflixy kind of way of looking at things, they're easy to get access to. That seems to be a very compelling thing for a consumer, because they're like, I've got all of this content in one spot.
I think it's more prevalent since the Switch, and you've got the you get the, like, for a better term, you got the app. Open that up, it's got all the games that get added to it and stuff. But it has been going on since, like, I think it started on the Wii, if I remember rightly. But the more interesting one that never actually went anywhere, with the exception of a handful of games, was on the Wii U. So on the Wii U, you had a gamepad, and they released a handful of like 3DS, well, DS games, which meant your TV was your top screen, and the Wii U gamepad was the bottom screen of the DS. I was like, that's cool as fuck. That's really cool. And like I said, they only did like 3 or 4 games, and then they didn't do any more with it after that. I was like, man, that was a missed opportunity there. But they could still do the same with the Switch, where you could have DS.
But you can't have it on your TV if it's not in the dock, though.
No, but that's what I mean. Well, no, you still can. You can still do it, but unofficially. There's no Nintendo thing for it, but it's effectively a dongle that goes into the USB-C port to the HDMI to your TV. But again, it's not an official way of doing it, so it wouldn't. Not necessarily wouldn't work, but Nintendo aren't going to go play your DS games on your Switch, but do it not legally. That's completely wrong, but you know what I mean. But I don't know, because the second you take away, I always find like Starfield is a brand new thing, keep it exclusive to Xbox. Don't even put it on PC for a year, whatever. But that's fine because it's a brand new IP. But you can't go, here's the sixth entry in a franchise that you can't fucking play. Here's the brand new fucking Fallout, but you can't play. That's wrong on all manner of levels. And they tried it with Tomb Raider. They did the exclusivity for the Tomb Raider sequel. People went off the wall about it. I did, and I had both a PS4 and an Xbox One, and I was still pissed off about it because I don't want it on Xbox. I want it on. I've got the other one on PS4, so I want this one on PS4. And I can't imagine what people say if Elder Scrolls does that.
I mean, that'll be the test, I think. Like, if they're true to their word and they do this, but at the same time, it's like, this is what I've always said. Like, you'd be stupid not to. Why would you cut out such a huge amount of people that are gonna, like, sure, maybe they're not going to play it on your platform, but you're still going to charge them full price for it to play on theirs.
Exactly. We talked about this like loads of episodes ago, like when this was first coming about, and it's something that, like, it's still true now. Like, you look at Minecraft. Minecraft's on fucking. You can get Minecraft on toasters. Like, it's on everything, but Microsoft gets all of that. And
well, to be fair to them, they spent a huge amount on that. They've got to recover.
Yeah.
And to be fair, since they've taken over it, look at how many other sort of Minecrafty kind of games that have come out not because of it, but to me, that's just them going, right, we just spent billions on this property. We need to do something with it. So, and I'll be honest, I played most of these, like Legends and Dungeons and all that kind of stuff. They're good. Yeah. But they're obviously based at kids more than anything, but, they're pretty solid. It's not like just a straight cash-in. Like, it's not just like, it's like Minecraft, but it's slightly different. It's like, it's the world of Minecraft, it's the look of Minecraft, the feel of it, but it's, it's something, it is different. It's a, it's a MOBA, it's a dungeon crawler, it's whatever.
Well, like, even just like, supporting original vanilla Minecraft, it's as good as it was back in the day. Not back in the day, as if it's been out for years and years and years and years. But
it has been.
I mean, it's got to be near like over 10 years, hasn't it?
I'd say, yeah. I mean, you're closer to sort of 15.
Yeah, I was going to say, because it was out before Logan was born. I'm not sure how many years, but but it's still really fun to play. It's one of the few PC games that plays exceptionally well with a controller on Xbox and on PlayStation and everything else. And it's just constantly getting new updates and whatnot. And I can't think of probably the only franchise that's close to Minecraft in terms of like player base and fans and everything else is something like Elder Scrolls. So,
I mean, in terms of numbers, they'll be like, Diablo, Fortnite, StarCraft, that kind of thing. I mean, that's across multiple nations with the markets as well. Yeah. Like, I can't I'd imagine that there'd be a disparity between like the amount of people who is like super into StarCraft or Dota or something like that. I imagine there's probably a bigger player base than there is for Elder Scrolls, but that seems like it'd be more of a mainstream kind of thing. Like, people go, "Oh, Skyrim, yeah, I remember Skyrim. Yeah, Skyrim was great." So the people who go around say that they're gamers. Because they play FIFA and Call of Duty, and that would be their stretch out of just like, and then I bought this Elder Scrolls, this Skyrim thing, because that's a big thing. So I reckon there'll be a lot of people that are going to be jumping in on that. So it would be just poor business sense in my eyes to just, why would you restrict one third or quarter of the market when you could go, well, we open it up across the board. Like, because clearly the teams who make them, they know how to make games for other consoles and stuff as well, like how to optimize it for multiple things. So why would you just, unless you think that you can force the market by saying, well, if we only release it on this, then people will have to go and buy our consoles in order to do it.
Well, that would be the next thing. Is like the Xbox is still like, in terms of like raw numbers, they've got the least number like of their player base is a lot lower than PlayStation's, than the Switches, than PC, than fucking Dreamcast, whatever. But so the only way around that is to make people buy more consoles.
But you'd be trying to do that in the midst of an economical crisis. People have not got the disposable income to go, oh, fuck it, I'll just buy an Xbox then just to play this one game.
No.
They'll be like, I'd pay for your Game Pass thing, £8, very reasonable. Most people can afford that, especially for the content that you get from it. Good value for money. But I'm not buying a PC or an Xbox to go and play it.
Because it's not...
I've got my console and I'm happy with that.
Yeah.
I'd rather not get it, or even as a principled stand of just like, if you're trying to force me to buy your thing to go and play that game, then I'm out.
Yeah. And I
which is why, again, I don't think they do it, because that seems like a very stupid decision.
I can't see them doing it, but when they've been asked the question, they've basically, I can neither confirm nor deny. That's
because they don't want someone to come back to them in 5 years' time and say, well, you said...
Exactly.
And, like, here's the clip of the interview or whatever.
They're playing it smart, and there is every possibility this does go through. They own Activision, they own Blizzard. This Elder Scrolls game and the next Fallout do come out and everything else, but that's it. After that, it's all exclusive. And they've paid for it, so they're within the rights to do it, but as long as they don't come out and say... No, it'll stay multi-platform. It's fine. Like, don't even worry about it. As long as they don't say those words, they're fine. They can do what they want. And again, it won't directly affect us. Like me and you'll be fine because it'll be on PC. I've got an Xbox. I've got a PlayStation. It's going to be on at least one of them, so we're fine. But you'll have some people that haven't got the luxury of owning not current gen stuff or got a PC that can melt your fucking bollocks off. It's some people are still playing on PS4, Xbox One, and obviously I don't expect the Elder Scrolls to come out on PS4, but I expect it to come out on PS5, and I'll be disappointed if it doesn't. I'm not going to get it for PS5 because it will be on Game Pass, so you'd be fucking stupid not to.
You would be stupid to get it.
But I still think this is an excellent position for Microsoft to be in for, where they turn around and go, well, you don't need to buy an Xbox. You've got the new Samsung TVs have got the Game Pass app built into them. All you need to do is buy a controller if you haven't already got one, and that'll work on your TV, and you can xCloud it through that. I know I've used xCloud; it works fucking phenomenally well. And I think that's what they should be pushing for this kind of stuff. So they haven't got the player base. Everyone needs a TV. So the second you start selling these new Samsung TVs, don't limit it to Samsung. Put them on Sony TVs. Fuck it. Why not? Like, just proper fucking...
Well, you won't get that far.
Proper poke the fucking bear.
like, your LGs, your Toshibas, like, if they're capable of running it, then it would always because like an as standard feature.
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at, like, remotes now have got Disney... Like, they've always had a Netflix button for, like, the last however many years. But you'll have a YouTube button.
You don't have to have a subscription, though.
It's just there. It's just taunting you. Press guard, you want to get this Disney Plus? You want to come and watch all these?
You want to watch that Witcher? Got to press that Disney button.
The Netflix button, rather. But that's all it needs to do. So, like, in the next iteration of these smart TVs, where you've just got that Xbox button, and a lot of the time I do it with stuff. On Logan's TV, it's got the like Roku or something like that. And what the fuck's a Roku?
Oh yeah, Roku box. So it's an American thing, but
and that's like built into Logan's TV. It's got like Netflix, YouTube, Disney, and everything else. And I was just sitting, I go, what the fuck's that? Boop, and I press it. If you do that with the Xbox button, and you get all these games show up, you go, I want in on this. How much is this?
But think of how many, like, you put like a bunch of party games, like a bunch of karaoke games. So you got mates round. You go, oh, let's just do Trivial Pursuit, or let's do Just Dance or whatever.
Or what was that draw game that we were playing during lockdown?
What?
Oh, it's a party game, and you have to draw things. Me, you, and Zoe were playing. We did a video on it.
Drawful.
Was it Drawful? Is that what it's called?
I think so. There's some like Jackbox games.
Yeah.
Like that would be like standard, but I think Drawful's the one where it's that same kind of thing. You'd like draw on your phone or whatever.
Yeah, and then you go to, like, it tells you to go to a website on your phone. Like stuff like that though, that you could just play on your TV. That'd be well fun. Be really good. I mean, just the fact that you could play fucking Starfield would be amazing.
But that's the thing. You've got the opportunity to play Starfield, or you just pay £8 a month, and as and when you need it, there's like there's a FIFA or two and there's a whatever. So like more casual people can just, they go, well, I don't have to have a console, or I just jump on the old TV when I've got some mates around, or if I'm babysitting, or if I've got the step kids around, or whatever. It's your divorce child allowance, whatever it is when you get given the kids for a bit. Just plonk them in front of the telly, bang, there's your Xbox Game Pass, £8 a month, and they can sit there and shut up. And
do you think that'll get added to like CSA benefits? It's like, here's your Game Pass allowance.
I mean, maybe it'd be like a when people sue like their sort of like their rich spouse, and be like, I've got used to a certain standard of living.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the thing. It's like, the kids are used to having their gaming,
just unlimited games to play.
Yeah, so you've got to provide Game Pass to some degree.
I'd try and wrangle in on that. I'm not divorced or anything, but I'd want to.
Not yet, mate. We'll get you there. Don't worry about it.
Fingers crossed. But no, it just seems daft not to like get xCloud works. It works really well on phone, tablet. You can do it in your bloody browser on your PC if you want to, for whatever reason. So it's really weird that they're not pushing this more. And like I say, it's touched on in this meeting where it's revealed that they are focusing on that mobile market, and it makes sense. You can buy a Razer Keisha, you can buy the new Backbone controller, you can turn your phone into a gaming device.
Well, some of us can, Callum.
I mean, your phone doesn't fit in like most people's bags, so. But again, it seems really it's an easy fix though, as long as you can have where the USB thingy is. If you can get that to like move up, so you can move it to where you want for your phone, then it would fit something like the Fold series. Which, coincidentally, the new one's being revealed this week. That'll be interesting.
Got this one for God's sake.
I'm not saying you to buy. I'm just saying it's being revealed. But yeah, it's. I think Game Pass built into your TV is the best move. Not buying Activision. This is the best move to make. Get that on like you say, on LG, Hisense, TCL, like all of these different TVs. Because the TV itself doesn't need to be amazing. It just needs to have internet capability and a decent mobile chip in it. That's all it needs. So
yeah,
get pushing on.
It's not going to be like the best 4K graphics ever. It's going to be.
You're still streaming it.
It plays. Yeah, exactly. You're streaming it.
But it does work really, really well on the Samsung TV. I forgot what the range is called, like the model numbers and that. But from the ones that have been tested at like the trade shows and stuff, it just works fucking flawlessly. And then you can like go straight from that to watching TV, which ironically you could do on the Xbox One because they were pushing it for that all-in-one media device.
Yeah.
Imagine if you got one that like you could also just put those old TVs that had a DVD player built into the side. You always see them like caravans and stuff. If you had a TV that did that, but you could put like a Xbox One game into the side of it.
I mean, yeah, but there's just a USB port that's got a
like a Fire Stick,
expandable storage.
Yeah. Oh, and maybe not.
So you could.
I don't want to get Microsoft too excited about that. Like a 2 terabyte
TVs add-on.
Yeah, fuck me. I mean, the ones already for the Series S and X is like 400 quid for 2 terabytes. Like, fuck up.
Yeah.
And get that for like 60 quid for PC. Mental. But yeah, like let's get crazy and just do stuff like that, man. Like, even have a remote that like transforms like an Autobot into a Xbox controller.
Okay, now you're getting way too wacky now.
That's a PlayStation thing, that is, if there ever was one. But this is what I mean, though. Like, you've got Xbox doing this kind of stuff. Switch are doing a portable fucking console that's as powerful as a PS4. Sony come out with this Project Q. Great. Cheers, guys. Right. Glad to see you're working really hard to capitalize on all these great games that you've got going. That you're going to just make it.
Well, they're shipping them all off to PC now, so I think they're not too fussed about it.
Well, no, but again, it's more of the PC is like an indifferent platform, isn't it? So, like most people will not most people, but a lot of people will have a PC and or PlayStation and Xbox. They'll have like 2 of those.
Gamers, you mean?
Yeah, not necessarily gamers, because some they just have them in their house, like for the kids or whatever. But it's not many people that will go, I've got a gaming PC and I've got a PS5 and I've got an Xbox and I've got a Switch and I've got a fucking arcade cabinet or whatever. Like, but like odds are they will have a PC and one of the consoles. So as long as you got a PC, you're on a safe bet, really, because you're going to get the good PlayStation games and you've got Game Pass for all the Xbox games. So that's your middle. What Microsoft and Sony should do is team together to take down PC. Which would be weird considering it's Microsoft, but whatever.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, like 90% of all PCs are running on Windows. So
well, I mean,
don't know why they'd fuck themselves over that badly.
I think it's more. It'd be more than that, wouldn't it? Because the ones that are running like Linux and stuff can't play most games anyway because they're not supported.
It's most games aren't optimized to work on those.
That's what I mean. So,
yeah.
People that are using Linux are usually dual booting anyway. I really like Linux. It's cool and fresh, but nothing's supported, so it's not worth making the jump yet. It's very good though, but yeah. So a lot of stuff going on with the Federal Trade Commission. I think it is going to go through. I reckon it will.
I reckon if it's been dragged out this long and it's become a bit of a media circus, to avoid any bad PR that could come from it and to avoid any claims or assumptions of like monopolization, I'd say that maybe if they I'd say that they would bow out rather than be rejected, because then they could say, do you know what, actually it's probably not worth all this drama, rather than then said, no, you can't buy this because you're too big already. That seems like it's more bad press.
Well, especially considering they've spent the last few years getting the trust back from the gamers from the debacle
buying up the studios, which again people are sort of like, ooh, you just sort of buying up a lot of properties, and what are you going to do with it? Are you going to EA it, or are you just going to you'll buy a thing and mothball it immediately?
That's what they did with Rare.
So any current projects, mothball it, and then any of the current IPs, doesn't matter, stick them in the back. No need for them anymore. What can we do to make more FIFAs?
Exactly. I mean, which again is you play into your most popular products, that's fine, but you can't just cater specifically to that. So if you rebranded as EA Sports, that's fine. Make all the sports games that you want, but you can't make anything else. that's what your focus is. But I was worried because Microsoft did it before with Rare. They bought Rare up and then they did nothing with them ever.
Yeah. Well, that's my problem. They when you buy up studios, you buy up all the properties that they own, and then you just refuse to do anything with them.
I mean, they've still got this big catalogue of stuff. Perfect Dark's been.
It should be like I don't know what the movie. The way that the movie licenses work, but it's if you own a property and you don't do, or if it's on loan from something, or you've purchased it from a
you need
wider
to make
thing,
something to keep it.
You've got to do something with it in order to retain that license, or it goes back on the market, or reverts back to its previous owner, or whatever. If they did the same thing, to be fair, there's a lot of old school games that sort of pop up on things like GOG, where presumably it's just some emulated version of it, but it should be if you don't make a Conker game after 5-10 years, maybe, because not including any development cycle. So if you're not actively working on a project, then it's up for grabs and another studio could bid on it. Yeah.
I think that's a good idea,
because then it would encourage more people to old game titles and franchises and things like that people really like. I'd love to see another Black and White. Black and White was fucking amazing, and Black and White 2 was even better.
How would that work though? Because they went under, didn't they? The studio.
Bullfrog did, yes. So all your theme hospitals and your theme parks and all that was all Bullfrog owned. But presumably someone bought up all the rights, because theme park is on fucking EA.
Yeah. But
and theme hospital.
But then you had 2 Point Hospital and stuff, which was the same game, but
it's the spiritual sequel, which is a sequel without being a sequel.
Well, isn't it most of the staff?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's I can't remember if it was the original Bullfrogs team or if it was the original Theme Hospital team, but either way, it was they were basically. It's the closest that you could get without being outright sued.
Yeah.
Like the exact premise, how all of it works, every element of it is exactly the same. So if you could do the same thing with black and white,
just call it.
I don't care what you release it on. I'll get that.
You just literally swap
it
around.
But it would have to be PC because it's a god simulator. Like you can't really do that with a controller very well. Can you?
You can do it on a phone.
No, fuck that. I've got something on my phone called what's it called?
Like grey and beige.
No, Worldbox.
Worldbox.
Which is like it's like a what's it called where everything's pixelated, like a bit themed sort of sort of pixel art sort of thing. So the map that's the world, and then you're like you're creating weather and setting things on fire and putting villagers down, and they go off and they make their own little villages, and you can just send fucking thunderbolts at them or whatever.
It's populous,
like, but nowhere near as advanced.
Right.
It's purely just a sandbox. That's all it is, and it's on Steam as well. I found out, but it's also like £9. And I'm just like
on Steam.
No,
I assume it's free on your phone.
There is a free version, but then there is a paid version where you get access to more stuff. Callum, just so you know, just so everyone knows, there's a Bethesda summer sale on at the moment, so get up all those Fallout 4 DLC packs that you missed out on.
Is it as good as the thingy sale from the other day? 0% off.
Oh yeah, the EA sale, up to 0% off. Cheers, EA. Callum, it looks like it's gone.
I don't know.
Oh no, there it is. It's $16.75. I think that's even more expensive than when I fucking looked at it last. Good. I mean, don't get me wrong. Again, it's like a god simulator sort of like sandbox thing. It's really quite interesting. They've had like a giant crab now, which looks ace.
Is it £16 good though?
No, I mean the phone one. I'm assuming that this is like the best version of it, and the mobile version is just the light basic bitch version.
No, because like Stardew Valley, the mobile version of that it's just the PC
Stardew.
one, phones are capable of running some really impressive. I mean, again, it's not your kind of thing, but Genshin Impact is still genuinely better than most console games. It's like graphics are real fucking good, combat's really good, story's pretty good. It looks better than Breath of the Wild, hands down, graphically, and that's just running on people's phones, and it's free. So, like, as long as you can get the controls down, mobile phone games are far better than me included, that we give them credit for. But it's because most of them, like 98% of them, are dog shit.
It's Hero Wars,
yeah.
It's Top War, it's bullshit. It's all bullshit. It's just all around clickbait and whatever.
Yeah. There's your diamonds,
every
obviously.
stupid advert that you see on Facebook or YouTube or whatever for some state of survival or whatever, Last Survivor or whatever it is, and it's just like, surely at this point everybody knows that's not what the game is.
There's one currently doing the rounds. I've seen it on Facebook a few times, and the trailer for this game is footage from one of the JRPGs from the Sony show. It's not even the same game.
Very well done.
But there are diamonds in there. Like I've got a handful of stuff. Granted, since I bought a Razer Kishi, I've played a lot more mobile games than I ever cared to. But the ones that I do like don't support controls. So like, great, thanks, you fucks. But there's some decent games out there, but it's just
Max
saturated.
Pears, who was a guest of ours from probably last year at this point.
It was last year.
He recommended a mobile game called Florence, which I downloaded. I'm pretty sure I did it whilst we were on the podcast, and it's still on my phone, and I'm still meaning to play it. But I'm pretty sure I've seen that pop up on Steam or something as well. So it's clearly it is very good. So you're right, there are nuggets out there. It's just that you've got to wade through a whole bunch of bullshit to get to it.
Definitely. I mean, there's again, I can't remember off the top of my head, but there's a game I'm currently playing on my phone. Again, just because it supports controller. There's basically Smash Brothers, And it's pretty good. I really like it. It's fun, it's fast, it's frantic, controls really well, graphics are pretty decent. But that is also free to play on Steam as well. And it's not Brawlhalla either. It's not that. Which is also on Steam.
Like the Fallout Shelter, I think that's still on Steam and that's free as well.
Well, that started as a mobile game. Fallout Shelter did.
Oh, yeah, very much so, yeah, because I was like raring and ready to go on that. But I want you to shut up so I can go and play more Fallout, to be honest, because I had my dinner before we started recording today, because I was just like, I was in the mood for Chinese anyway, so I stopped off at like this Chinese place and got like a box of good chicken. And I was like, right, we can get this podcast out of the way. I was watching Schitt's Creek, playing Fallout 4, glass of wine, and that's all I want to do. And all you're doing is keeping me from that at this point.
Well, we'll leave it there then.
Yeah, that'll
you get back to your Fallout.
I'll play Fallout, Callum.
If you want to play more Fallout and see things, I don't think we haven't done any Fallout 76 for a while, so maybe that we can slap that on the old schedule.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
That's a really good point, because they man alive, they are milking this. Like, I thought they would just like any MMO, they go, well, we're giving it a few years and people aren't super stoked on it, so we'll sort of pack it in. But man, they've done the grind. And I was on it weekend just gone actually, but like it's still the same sort of thing. Like my carry capacity is like 250 kilos, and I've got like 540 odd kilos worth of stuff on me. And my stash of like 1,200 kilos is full. So I'm just like, I'm not going to just dump it, because it's like, it's shit that I'll probably need.
Yeah, so you drop it and I pick it up.
Yeah, but again, I've still got more than even both of our carry capacities combined. But like, there's so much extra stuff in the map that I want to go and explore, and I can't fast travel because I'm over encumbered. Yeah. So either they need to increase your stash storage by 5 times for me to be able to dump all this shit so I can build and do whatever. Because it'd be fine if I could spend it to build and have like a cool base, but your blueprints only go so far, which means that if you leave that map and when you go back someone else is already in that spot or it's removed your base, you can't replace it. You've got to build it from scratch again, which is fucking stupid.
They need to do like Rust. Their base management is pretty good.
Yeah, and like if it gets raided, it gets raided. Yeah. That sort of stuff, you know. But it's still there's still like insane fucking monsters, and they're doing all kinds of like events and stuff like that. So yeah, I reckon we need to go back and do a bit of 76, mate.
We'll jump on that.
I love me some Fallout.
We played Sniper Elite 5 the other day, believe it or not. And I tested out xCloud. See how that worked, and it worked pretty darn well. Very happy with it. So we got that. We've got some of that. We've got some more game shows and stuff coming up. We've got a brand new game show that we started the other day called Who Dis. Head to podcastfirstplay.com. It's all going along the bottom of the screen. And we'll see you on the next one. Daniel, enjoy your Fallout and your Chinese food. Let it digest.
I mean, I ate that about 4 hours ago, so I'm about ready to drop it.
There we go. All right. Bye.